Here we have Shelly Finkel saying that Deontay Wilder will not be rushed into the Klitschko fight. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. This is when Wilder was 33-0 and he was ducking Klitschko. 33-0. How many fights did he need before he'd be willing to step in the ring with Klitschko? Well, he never stepped in the ring with Klitschko. All them years he's been champion, he's never stepped in the ring with Klitschko. Ain't that funny? Fought Stavern, Molina, Duopa, Spilka, Areola, Washington. All this time. Why didn't he make the Klitschko fight? Huh? Anthony Joshua fought Klitschko as a voluntary, people. He didn't have to fight Klitschko. Nobody forced him into that fight. He voluntarily gave Klitschko a shot. Why didn't Wilder give Klitschko a shot? He had the opportunity to, right? He's working with this Shelly Finkel character who you guys are acting like is the best thing that's ever happened to boxing. Shelly Finkel. Why didn't Shelly Finkel put together Klitschko Wilder? Joke business. The proof is in the pudding. You don't watch what somebody says, you watch what they do. You look at their track record. Wilder's track record when it comes to fighting quality opposition, let's be real, people, it is poor. Very poor. 33 fights in. He ducked Klitschko for several years. His manager Finkel said he won't be rushed into the Klitschko fight. Look, let me quote Finkel. Finkel said, look, Wilder is a baby winning the title. It was his first title fight. There'll be a time for unifications. There'll be a time for those things. He could go and fight Povetkin in Russia and make 10 million. It's not the right thing yet. Give him a couple of fights. Maybe bring him back to Alabama. Let him develop just like any other athlete. They don't take someone who is a great college prospect and throw him right in. This kid is a great prospect. He's calling the guy a prospect when he's 33-0 and he's just won a version of the world title. He's calling him a prospect and blatantly keeping him away from Vladimir Klitschko. I thought this guy was a warrior, 33 fights in. I thought this guy is the opposite of a coward, right? Because he's calling Joshua a coward when Joshua fought Klitschko in like his 19th fight. And yeah, okay, you can say Klitschko wasn't as good as when Wilder was 33-0, but Klitschko was still way better than the guys Wilder was fighting in his 19th fight. Klitschko was still way better than Berman Stavern, the guy who Wilder fought in his 33 fight. The version of Klitschko that Joshua fought was way better than the Berman Stavern Deontay Wilder fought. Way better than Molina, Duopa, any of these guys. But yet you're questioning Joshua's heart. You're questioning his integrity. And you just look at Wilder's resume and it tells you all you need to know. The first guy with a pulse in his 33rd fight. And then he's fighting fringe contenders. Washed up Areola. He eventually fights Luis Ortiz. We don't even know how good Luis Ortiz is, people. We don't know how good he is. He beat Bryant Jennings. Other than that, who else did he beat? He didn't look good against Dave Allen and a washed up Malik Scott. We don't know how good Luis Ortiz is. And one thing we know is that he's old. Yeah, we know he's old. And in fact, the general consensus in boxing is that Luis Ortiz is a lot older than the 39 years of age he's listed as. Very few people believe he's only 39. So you look at Wilder's resume. Stavern when he first fought him. Ortiz. Some fringe contenders in between. And other than that, absolute cans. Road sweepers. Grocery clerks. Bus conductors. That's who Wilder's been fighting. And this is a guy who over the years I've defended many times. Not defended in a delusional way. No, I acknowledge the massive gaping holes in Deontay Wilder's resume. I acknowledge the fact that he was wrapped in cotton wool and protected for many years. I've acknowledged that. But I also acknowledge that he is talented. He's a tremendous puncher. And that some of the guys he fought weren't as bad as some people were trying to make them out to be. And he still got rid of them at the end of the day. But when you compare like for like, when you compare who Wilder has fought during his championship reign to who Joshua's fought during his championship reign, people, it's not even close. Joshua has fought far better opposition. And when you compare who they fought in their first 21 fights, it's not even close. So who's the coward really? Whose integrity is really in question when you analyze what they've actually done? Because that's where you find out the truth. You don't find it out through what people say. You find it out through what they do, looking at their track record. Look what Wilder's done compared to what Joshua's done. Look at Wilder's team blatantly coming out when a man's 33 fights in, saying we're not going to fight Klitschko. Blatantly ducking the Klitschko fight. Yeah. Joshua's only had 21 fights. Was Wilder a coward for ducking Klitschko? Because that's what he did. He ducked Klitschko when he was 33 fights in. Joshua's only had 21 fights and he's fought Klitschko already. You people calling Anthony Joshua a coward, it's farcical. It's some joke business. That's what it is. Joke business. All the Wilder fanboys are making out as though Shelly Finkel is the bastion of truthfulness and morality. Shelly Finkel. If you think that Shelly Finkel don't tell lies, then you either don't know Shelly Finkel or you are unbelievably deluded. Maybe both. People act like Eddie Hearn is the only person in boxing who bends the truth and tells lies. Hell no. Do I trust everything Eddie Hearn says? Do I believe everything he says? Hell no. I've questioned many things that Eddie Hearn has said over the years. I don't trust any boxing promoter to tell the truth all the time. Hell no. They're obviously going to give you a biased perspective because they're representing their client. But that goes for Shelly Finkel too. As a boxing manager, what, you think Shelly Finkel never told lies? Joke business. You want to know about the integrity or lack thereof of Shelly Finkel? Go speak to Steve Lott. You know Steve Lott? The guy who was a close friend and confidant of Mike Tyson for many years during Tyson's prime. Go ask Steve Lott about Shelly Finkel. Go chat to Steve Lott on Facebook. He's very accessible. Go talk to him about Shelly Finkel. And then come back to me and act like Shelly Finkel is some bastion of morality and truth. Joke ting. Joke business. Don't give me no rubbish about Shelly Finkel and everything he says is true. You see, there's this silly meme that a lot of these Wilder fanatics are running with now. Eddie says, they put in quotation marks, Eddie says. And if you say Eddie says anything, it means you're a Hearn fanboy and you don't know what you're talking about and you're crazy. Well, you're saying Shelly says. You're saying Wilder says. What makes them any more credible than Eddie Hearn? What makes them any more truthful than Hearn? Yeah, you talk about the things that Shelly Finkel's been involved in, the fights he's put together. What fights has he put together involving Wilder? Forget about all the other fighters he's been working with. What fights has he put together with Wilder? Because we're talking about a fighter now. Finkel's not the one getting in the ring fighting, so Finkel might have done this and that with Mayweather and whoever in the past with Mike Tyson. What's he done with Wilder? You compare what Finkel's done with Wilder to what Eddie Hearn has done with Joshua. It's night and day. Hearn and Joshua have moved their career way faster. They moved Joshua's career way faster. They fought way better fighters in a far shorter time frame than Deontay Wilder and Shelly Finkel have done. Facts.